Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to use the app Ibis Paint to create a motif repeat pattern for your design folio. This will allow you to create a symmetrical repeat that you can quickly and easily add different colourways into. Okay, so before you get started, you should already have a motif designed at this stage and you should have that drawn out on a piece of paper. And what we want to do before working in the app is you want to take a photograph of that either on your mobile phone or a tablet, whatever device you are using. I'm just doing this on an Android phone, so don't worry if you don't have access to an iPad or a tablet or anything, okay? So the repeat is going to look something similar to what is on the screen just now. And before we get started, we want to go into the Ibis Paint app, okay? So this is what it looks like when you first bring it up, and we are just going to get into My Gallery. Okay, now this is my gallery here, but if you've never used the app before, then yours will be empty. And we want to create a new blank canvas for you to work on. So we're just going down to the cross in the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm going to select the 1-to-1, so one that's more like a square. And you can see this is like my piece of paper that I'm going to be working on. And before we get started, I'll show you a couple of the app's features. So up in the top right-hand corner, there's like a kind of pointing hand. And you can see that it says stabilizer. If I put stabilizer off and then I draw like a kind of curved line here, you can see that the line is a wee bit bumpy, right? I'm just going to undo those. The undo button is up the top left hand corner there. Get rid of those. If I put the stabilizer on to like 6 or 7 and I do a kind of curved line, you can see that the app is automatically changing that to make the line a lot kind of smoother and neater. Okay, and I'll just delete those and get rid of them. And beside that, you've got the ruler function, and we are going to use that today to create our symmetrical repeat. And then you've also got one that's like a kind of picture here. This is just so you can add different patterns into the background, but that's not something that we are going to use, but just so you know the features there. Down in the bottom toolbar, the big black square in the middle here, that is how we select the different colours. So you're just moving the kind of circle around, you can see it's changing the colour in the middle, and then the colour in the middle there, you can move that around and select different colours, and you can see that the colour is changing up the top there. Okay, I'm going to go back to black. And then beside that, you've got the brush tool, right? So if I click in here, it shows the different brushes that are available. So I'm going to go for Felt Tip Pen Soft. And I can change my thickness here, so you can see at the top the thickness is changing. You want to set yours to about 3.5 for what we're doing. Okay, so something quite kind of small. Oops, right. 3.5, come on. There we go. And I'm just clicking that kind of down arrow. Okay. Beside that, you've got the one that looks like an actual paintbrush. This is the different tools that are available to use, and I'll show you how to use them as we are using those. Okay, and the one beside that is like the kind of paintbrush and the arrows. That just changes it to an eraser, so you can rub out if you make any mistakes, and you can change that quite quickly. Okay, one of the functions that we're going to use a lot today is the one near the bottom right hand corner, and it's like the 3 squares on top of each other. This is the kind of layer section. The best way I can think of to describe layers to you is if you were working on multiple drawings on pieces of tracing paper and you sat them all on top of each other, so they were all layered up, and if you pressed them down and you looked at it, you would see the drawings on each section of the tracing paper. If you think of each of those pieces of tracing paper as one layer, if you remove one of those, then you are not going to see that part of the drawing when you've got them all layered up together. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So what we want to do is we want to add some layers in. Okay, so you're just going to go to that wee cross button that says add layer, and I'm just going to add about 3 just now. Okay, and I want to work on layer 1, so it's the one that's highlighted in blue, so I'm going to select that. Okay, and I want to bring in that photograph of my motif that I've already drawn, right? So I'm going to click on the camera down here, it says import picture, and it brings up the gallery on your phone. So I'm going to select my drawing, And you can see it's brought my drawing in here, but it's got it really zoomed in. So the same way if you were zooming in on something on your phone where you use your fingers to change how something is zoomed in, I'm just going to move that so it fills the page. And I'm going to click the wee green tick down the bottom corner. And we'll just click cancel when that pops up. Okay, so you can see I've got my photograph in here. And this is where the layer function is really important. We're going to trace over our drawing so that we can work with it in the app. But if we draw on the same function as the layer, then you'll always have that photograph visible. So you want to select a different layer. Okay, so I'm working on a blank layer there. Alright, and we're going to draw over our design. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to start to draw over the lines. Okay, you want to go nice and neatly. I'm going to go a wee bit quicker so you're not having to watch me do this for too long. I do apologise, I don't have excellent video editing skills, so I don't know how to speed this up. I'm sorry, but I'll go as quick as I can. And you can see as I'm doing it that the app is changing my lines. If they're a wee bit bumpy, it's changing them to make them a lot smoother. Okay, so going over my full design. Now I'm using like a kind of stylus pen to do this, so it's like a pen with like a rubber end on it. It's just a bit easier than using your finger, but you can use your finger to draw on the app. But you might find that maybe someone at home has got a kind of stylus that you could borrow for trying this out, or you might have one from like I don't know if these even exist anymore, but I know that Nintendo's used to have like a stylus. I don't know if they still do. But it just makes it a wee bit easier. Okay, so I've went over my design there. Right, you can see I've got the outline around my drawing, and I'm going to go back into the layers down the bottom. Okay, where I've got the photograph that I had originally, I'm going to click the wee bin down here, delete layer, and that's going to get rid of that photo. Okay. Now I want to duplicate my layer, so I want to have two of this drawn, just in case I make a mistake. So you're going to go over to the left hand side, and it's that wee box with a cross in it, add special layer, and you're going to click duplicate layer. Okay, so you can now see that I've got two of that drawing. Alright, and we'll just minimise that down. So what we're going to do now is we want to make this smaller so we can work with it. So I'm going to click on where the paintbrush is, and we're going up to the very top one, transform. Okay, and if you, same as how when you zoom in and things, if you just drag over that, move your fingers, it's going to make that a lot smaller. Okay, and I'm just going to move that up to the kind of top corner here, and I'm going to click the green tick down the bottom. Okay, going back into my layer, I don't want to see this kind of bigger sized one. Okay, so if I click the wee eye beside it, if I click on that, you can see that that's disappearing on my canvas at the side there. So I'm only got that smaller layer here, right? And then we want to go back and we want to select layer 3. Okay, minimise that down. Now this is where we're going to start to use the symmetry tool. So that ruler tool up the top right hand side, we're going to click on that, and we're going to symmetry ruler, right? There are different ones that you can try out if you want to just have a simple one mirror repeat, then you can use that one here, or you've got one where you've got a kind of kaleidoscope ruler, they're calling it, and you can see you can use that division tool to change how many sections you've got. Now remember, you're going to have to draw this at a later stage, so if you've got too many sections, if you've got loads of sections like this and have a really complicated design, that's going to take you a while to draw. So try and choose maybe like 6, I would say. Okay, 4 or 6, right? Now we are going to use this one here. It's the rotation ruler. That's what I'm going to show you today, And I'm going to go move that division section down. I'm going to go to 6 sections, okay? And then clicking back on the ruler there. Now you can see I've got these blue lines that have split the canvas up, and that's going to be where the pattern starts to repeat, okay? So if I use my pen tool and start to draw in one section, you can see that it's drawn it symmetrically in each of the different ones, okay? I'm just going to undo that just now. And I want to make sure that my motif design that I've got in there is a bit bigger, okay? So I'm just going to go into the transform tool. I'm going to move that a wee bit bigger. Now it's hard because those blue lines disappear when you do that, but we can fix that. I'm going to click the green tick, that's a lot better. If you find yours was a wee bit off, so say yours was more like down like that, it was far away from the lines, if you just use that blue circle with the cross in it to move the section so it's sitting right against your design, it doesn't matter if it's a wee bit off from the centre of the page, okay? So I've got that in here, and we're going back into our layer, so we want to work on another layer this time that's really important at this stage. So I'm going into a blank layer, there's nothing on it. If you need to add a layer, remember you just click that button, okay? So I'm working on a blank layer, and I'm going to, same again, I need to draw over my design, right? So I'm going to zoom in so I can draw over those lines, okay? You can see that the pen is a wee bit thicker this time round. I'm going to leave it thicker so that you can see as I'm going over each line. But if you want yours to be thinner, then you can change the thickness in the bottom toolbar, okay? Now this is going to be the lines that are used for your kind of final design, so you want to make sure that they are as neat as possible, okay? You also want to make sure that each line joins up with the other, okay? So I don't want to draw, if I draw this one in here and I stop there, when I go to add colour in, it's going to add the colour into the background as well. So you want to make sure that your lines join up with one another, okay? You can see down the bottom there that it is starting to draw in the different sections, okay? Bear with me, I'm going as fast as I can. One wee bit. Oops. Okay. And you can see there when I zoom out, I've got a lovely repeat pattern there, okay? But if we go back up to this one, you can see that that original drawing is still underneath there. So I'm going to zoom out, I'm going back into my layer, right? And it's this wee one here, so that wee drawing that we used earlier. I'm just going to go back in, I'm going to use that eye, and that is going to make that disappear. So you can see I can't see those lines behind that anymore, okay? So I've got my pattern, this is where the fun starts. This is where we can start adding our colour. Now I don't want to see these blue lines anymore, I don't need them anymore. So if I go back up to the ruler, and I'm just going to hit the off button there, okay? And then I don't see those lines and I've got a really nice pattern. Okay, so now we're going to start to add colour. And having your design like this will allow you to really quickly try out one colourway, and then if you don't like it, you can try out something else. They also want to see you using different colours and trying different things rather than sticking with your first idea, okay? So this will allow you to do this very quickly. Now, first, before I get started, what I would do a quick screenshot, okay, to save that picture. Oops. And then I want to go into my layers, and where I've got the layer with the pattern on it, I've selected it there, I'm going to duplicate that again just in case we make any mistakes, okay? So that wee box there, add special layer and duplicate layer, and you can see I now have two of the one with the pattern. Right, and this is where we can start to add colour. So I'm going to go into the one that looks like a paintbrush, and I'm just going to click the one that says bucket. And at this stage, you should already have your investigation sheet done, okay? So you don't want to just use any colours that you feel like. You want to look at your investigation sheet and make sure that you're taking colours that work well together, but are also featured throughout that. So your investigation sheet is where you've got a couple of drawings, and you've also got some pictures that relate to your theme. So you want to make sure that you are taking colours from that sheet. Looking at my sheet, I have got a range of kind of hot oranges and yellows and peaches, and cool kind of teals and blues and kind of lilacs and purples. So those are the colours that I'm going to use, okay? So I'm going to click on the box that's down the bottom here, the black box, and I can start choosing colours. So let's start off with, let's go for some kind of yellow colour here, right? You see the colours changing at the top, that's the colour that's going to come out. And I can very, very quickly just tap on where I want that colour to add, and it adds it in, okay? Let's start adding some kind of oranges in here. Make sure as well, if you're going to add in the same colour to each section, that you do it at the same time, okay? It saves you having to go back and try and create the same colour, and they can end up not matching, okay? Now you might not want your colours to be really, really bright and vibrant like that, okay? So you can kind of dull it down a wee bit by moving the circle in the centre square. Okay, you might find if you've got your picture zoomed out like this and you're trying to tap on a section, you might find out you end up hitting the background. You can just undo it, or you might also end up hitting the outline, okay? So you want to just hit undo, but if you zoom in to select each section, you might find that works a bit better for you. Okay, so I can very quickly, let's try out some different kind of teal kind of colours. You can see it's so quick, so easy to add colours in. Oops. Now I'm just going to very quickly pick some colours so you don't need to sit and watch me for too long. But you also might find you could end up adding in, like if I go for this kind of more pinky colour, and I think, nah, I don't like it, you can just go, say, do you know, that would look better in yellow for talking's sake, and I can go in and add, just really quickly change that to yellow, okay? Last bit, oops, oh my goodness. Okay, and then we are on to the background. Now background, when you're working on paper, it's one of those things that you are scared to add it in case it ruins your whole piece of work. This will allow you to really quickly try different things, see what you like, and be like, nah, it doesn't work, I'm going to change it to that colour. So it's really, really handy working on this app to do this, okay? I am just going to go for, let's just go for that just now for talking's sake, okay? And say that I'm really happy with that design, okay? I am going to go to the bottom, the arrow down the bottom here, the bottom right hand corner, and we're going to go back to my gallery. Alright, so you can see it took me 18 minutes to create that piece of work. And you're going to go to the 3 dots down the bottom here. And if I just click Save Photo JPEG, then that will save that photo onto your device. and then you can go back in and click the edit button, and then you can go and change the colours again. Okay, so if I want to start changing things around, I can make some small changes, you can make some big changes. Same again, you're just going back to my gallery, 3 wee buttons, save photo, and then it will save your new colours that you've just created. Alright, I hope that makes sense, and that you give it a try, because it will really help speed up your design process. Please let me know if you've got any questions, and enjoy. Bye guys.